What if I told
tell you right
tonight?
Hey, what to do, everyday people, man? We up in this thing. Live up in this thing. Are we live? Yeah, we are. We always live. We lit and live every day. But since y'all here, go ahead and hit that like button. Um, you know, show some love to your boy. Alright. Show some love to your boy. Alright. Yeah, I made a mess. Shit. Goddamn. Woo, that man hit your boy like a sack of bricks. Ooh. I'm trying out a new hookah flavor, and my God. Good God. Alright, we in this thing, amen. While I'm recovering from that hit of menthol, we got some great information. We got some stuff that we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about bitches and hope. Okay? We're gonna talk about black conservatives speaking out. We're gonna talk about the black people's hate for the Republican Party and black people's love of the Democratic Party, how they got started. We're going to also talk about SNAP benefits disappearing. We're going to briefly talk about the government shutdown, because the government shutdown is up. But the government shutdown is bringing on other conversations that don't have nothing to do with the government shutdown, because the shutdown was never for us. When everybody talks about black people and SNAP benefits, and you got to go back to Tyrone and all that crap. It ain't Tyrone. You got to go back to Chad. Okay, Chad needs to come back into the home. Okay, and your son Chad need to come take care of his elderly grandma on SNAP. It was a lot of conversations that we didn't have, and that's why like black people are starting to speak out against how we are portrayed. First of all, it's the Republicans who are portraying black people like this. So when black people say that they want to go be a Republican, I'll be like, y'all making us look bad, but whatever. Where the hoes at? Where the butt naked hoes at? Anyway, this dude said, what? Forget Bernie Sanders, I'm on brick mode. Bro, get your horny ass. What is wrong with y'all people, bro? Anyway. Bro, need to chill. You need to chill, dog. For real, for real. Anyway, let's get to this video. Let's get to this video before he get his happy ending. Let's go ahead and get it started. Rose said,
Child, let me tell you how my...
Welcome to Unhinged Rabbit Hole News. Why do I believe that Trump stole the contingency fund for SNAP? Let's get into it. Let's start with a brief history of Donald Trump and his unpaid bills. In 1984, he stiffed a cabinet maker who supplied slot machines, bars, and desks to the tune of over $84,000. In 1998, a toilet maker fulfills an order for Trump's Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. This order eventually totaled over $200,000. He walked away with $70,000. In 2006, Donald Trump was sued by his personal driver of 25 years for over 3,300 hours of unpaid overtime. During 25 years of service, Noel Centron only received 2 raises, one in 2006 and another in 2010. He eventually sued for over $350,000. In 2007, Trump orders $700,000 of curtains, bed sheets, and pillowcases for Trump Hotel. Trump Hotel eventually increases those orders to the tune of $1.2 million. Due to an unpaid balance of over $550,000, the owner, Larry Walters, halts production and then retains the materials for the curtains as collateral. So Trump does what he does best. He sues and then has the sheriff's office show up and take all of the drapery from the business owner. As the sheriffs are removing these materials, Trump still has not paid. Larry Walters was eventually forced to settle for over $820,000, leaving him $400,000 short of the owed balance. And just a little nugget, he had to file for bankruptcy after that. And as recent as 2017, he was sued and forced to pay over $330,000 for stiffing a paint maker and event staff in Florida. What all of these instances have in common is that Donald Trump owed someone money and decided to use the courts as a way to not be responsible for paying those bills. He has essentially weaponized the court systems in America in order to avoid ever being financially responsible for anything that he does. Another thing that I would like to point out is he has a tendency to always sue into bankruptcy blue-collar workers, the average American. He does not consider us valuable enough to be paid for our services, even after we provide them. Now think of SNAP as a bill. It's a government bill, right? Every month the government has to pay it for us to receive it. Well, it looks to me like based on his pattern, he doesn't have the money and he doesn't plan on giving it.
Ooh, that was a long roundabout way of saying, man, Trump he just not gonna give y'all the money. He not gonna pay y'all. But anyway, we all know Trump is sued crazy. He's suing the Department of Justice. He sued CNN. He sued 60 Minutes. He sued everybody. And then the shocker, the crazy part is him suing the Department of Justice. And then he's going to pay for the ballroom. He said, y'all taxpayers ain't going to pay it. Y'all going to pay me. And then I'll pay for the ballroom. See how that worked? That's cold. Con man or not, that's good business, right? That's good business. Like, y'all got to think of it as a business owner. Would you rather come out the money or would you rather somebody else come off the money? Either way, it gets paid. Let's stop being y'all. This is why black people leaving the Democratic Party, because y'all too liberal with y'all's money. Okay, y'all need to understand how money works.
So the $5 billion that was in that contingency fund, the one that's supposedly supposed to be enough to sustain the SNAP benefits, the reason why they keep going back and forth is because it's gone. The money is gone. The money is gone. It's gone. They took our fucking money and they literally thought that they were going to get away with it. But see, us meddling fucking kids is pointing the fucking fingers in the right directions. And now they got to scramble to figure out how to cover this shit up. That warning about Democrats winning, meaning a lot of people were going to go to jail, is because they all took a piece of that pie. They all took a piece of that fucking pie. And now they got to make sure that they get their buddies in position to not actually investigate. They took our fucking money. They took the money. They took it. They took it. They took it. Why do you think that Donald Trump all of a sudden is having the most profitable year of his fucking career? 80 years. And this is the year that he's making the most money that he's ever made in his entire fucking life. Yeah, they took the fucking money. And now the Supreme Court just went against the judge ruling that forced or ordered the Trump administration to fulfill the entirety of the SNAP benefits for the month of November. Yeah, they took the fucking money. They took the money. That's the only reason why he would have to probably allegedly make that call to Supreme Court, like, listen, block this shit, because they don't have it. They don't have our money, y'all. They took the fucking money. just like the last time that he caused another government federal shutdown. $3 billion was gone. And because it was gone and nobody could ever do anything about it, we couldn't ask no questions about it. They thought they was going to be able to do that shit again.
So the lady just got her stamps for the month of November to.
Nah, so they saying Trump stole the money, man. I don't know. I'm not saying he stole the money. He didn't like go in there with a bag and be like, but he may have misplaced the money from the SNAP fund. He said, hey, they don't need all this money in SNAP. Matter of fact, we got 600,000 people off SNAP, so let's take the money that we would have paid them and let's put it over here to where it's going to benefit the Americans. Now, he could have did that. He ain't got to tell y'all about it because he said he going to be transparent, but he not going to tell y'all everything. Transparent, but I'm not going to tell you everything. That's a fact.
Find out that $600 some worth of stamps are gone. Everything is gone except $20. The lady said the only thing she did was when she checked for her stamps, she knows she had over $600 in SNAP benefits covered for this month. They came on her card. She said the only place she shops is Walmart. So she made a purchase at Walmart because she doesn't have a car. So when I guess the order didn't arrive or whatever, and she goes to check her benefits or whatever, somebody has taken everything off her SNAP benefits but $20. So we know it had to be an inside job. Something ain't right. This lady was hysterical, holding back the tears. I felt so sorry for her because you could hear her ask her child in the background, when do we get our stamps? And I think the child said November the 7th. She said somebody has stolen all of my stamps except $20. This is sad. These are some trying times we live in. People are desperate and they would do anything to feed their families. But I'm hoping that Walmart has something in place to reimburse that lady, because she said she only uses her card at Walmart. So it had to be somebody at Walmart that took it upon themselves to figure out how to steal all these ladies' stamps but $20. This is sad. $20 they left out of over $600. I hope Walmart reimburse this lady or figures out how to help her out, because that's a lot. And those are all of her stamps for the month of November. These are some trying times we living in, and people are desperate. They doing what they.
I know who did it. Cheryl Hodge. Cheryl Hodge. She teaching a whole class on how to steal stamps. And she tell people, all you got to do is keep putting in the numbers. All you have to have is the sequence of numbers. If you have the sequence of numbers, then you can keep going until it's the time to put in the code. When you put in the code, it's something different. There's a whole nother way you could get the code. So if you got the sequence of numbers, you can find a way to get the code. You probably got to have an inside man. And you stealing SNAP benefits, and they've been stealing SNAP for like 2 years now. So this ain't the first one.
How to do to feed.
The reason the Trump administration is fighting so hard not to fully fund SNAP or pay SNAP is because they stole that money, or they spent it on something they weren't supposed to. And if you think different, you are the fools they want you to be. You are those.
Yeah, I told y'all. They didn't steal the money. They just took the money that they saved from the people that they kicked off SNAP. They just took that money, which was supposed to be for them, but they was like, nah, we just gonna lower their budget. And without telling y'all, they moved the money. They moved the money. But they gonna be able to show where the money went. It's just it wasn't used for what the American people put the money, like, or when they voted for where the money would go. It's just not there. But it's okay. Hey, we all voted for this. Okay, American people, we voted for this, so we got to deal with it. Straight up.
He spent the money. Yeah, Trump spent all the money in the EBT and the SNAP contingency fund. Over $5 billion is gone. In case you've been wondering why he's been doing backflips to keep from having to pay out of the SNAP and EBT contingency fund. All the lawsuits, he's trying to stop it. In case you're wondering why, that's because he doesn't want anybody to find out that that money doesn't exist anymore. Have you seen the documents circulating, the court documents where the justice outlines what happened to that money? The executive branch exhausted that fund. I'm only laughing as a sign of mania and insanity because I don't know what else to do at this point. That sounds like a fucking Embezzlement, right? That's a crime. That's a crime for which people do time. Yeah. Are we surprised? I'm not surprised. I don't even think his swallowers would be surprised. They just won't care. You know, they just don't care. As far as they're concerned, this is just another step to sticking it to the poor, who is actually mostly made up of them. So the irony is, but he's never going to see a jail cell for this. And his side won't care. They'll make up some fucking excuse or another.
All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all where all this is coming from. Okay, it says the executive branch has exhausted its SNAP contingency reserve. Butterfly in the sky, I could go twice as high. Anyway, which was over $5 billion and can now only provide partial benefits for November. The lack of funds is due to the ongoing government shutdown, which has been the subject of a legal battle that has gone to the Supreme Court. While the Supreme Court has temporarily blocked lower court orders to provide full benefits, some states may have already issued them. Funding exhaustion. The executive branch, we already said that, is not enough to cover government shutdown, legal challenges, current status. As a result of the Supreme Court's order, the executive branch is only able to provide partial SNAP payment benefits for November. Deeper dive into this. Did Trump steal the money? That's what. All right, so a funding lapse due to a failure by Congress to appropriate funds for the current fiscal year. The SNAP program ran out of regular funding. The executive branch used over $5 billion from its SNAP contingency reserve, but stated this was only enough to cover partial payments for November, not the fully monthly cost of approximately $8.5 to $9 billion. Okay, so he didn't actually steal it. We spent it. It's gone. It wasn't enough to cover it. But some states already issued the full amount. So when the states issued the full amount, everybody else couldn't get paid. Which that don't make no sense, but I guess if it makes sense, like as money's coming out, that's just like there's 50 states, okay, and all these 50 states got automatic withdrawals from the Treasury, so they're gonna automatically withdraw this money as they using it, as they sending it out, and then what happened? We overdraft. Do the government got overdraft protection fee or something? Like, nigga, how y'all run out of money? Like, when I overdraft in my bank, they be like, you ran out of money, but they be like, I still give you some. We're gonna just charge you $17. You know? Can the government withdraw $3.5 billion over and be like, hey, just charge them $17 for the overdraft fee and let's move on? Like, what are we talking about? I don't know, but apparently, you know, he gave Argentina $20 billion. That could have covered it. That $20 billion could have covered it. Actually, that would have covered 2 months. We would have had November and December. What the fuck are we talking about? Talk about we spent it. You damn right he spent it. Okay.
Hey y'all, come look at this. This is a food bank somewhere in white folk Nebraska. And what y'all notice? First of all, that line longer than a motherfucker, boy. And there ain't nine nigga in that line. They don't show this shit on the news right here. Look at all them goddamn hungry white folk. I wonder which way they voted. They probably didn't want to wear their MAGA hats. It ain't time to rally for Trump. Right now it's time to rally up something to eat. Who y'all think they blame for this? Boy, I bet there's some hell of a goddamn information going on in those lines. Out of all those white folk out there, how many of them do y'all think use wash rags? But for real, this just shows that we all hurt, man. All that narrative about single mama, Tyrone this, Tyrone that. When there's so many people that use SNAP benefits from different walks of life that really need that help, man. And that's the part we're not really showing. And this right here show you. Look at him. Look at him.
He not lying. when it comes down to everything that happens with the government, the government don't be like, well, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you can't get this. No, it affects all Americans. People, America first, baby. And you know who don't put America first? People who donate billions of dollars to Argentina. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay, not so quick story time. Yesterday, I ordered groceries on Instacart. Yes, I use Instacart. Yes. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's funny that in 2025, people judge you for using Instacart, but people will DoorDash the hell out of every meal. But they judge you for using Instacart. It's crazy to me. I've been a shopper for Instacart. I've been a customer for Instacart for over 10 years. I lived in the metropolitan DC area. Yes, we use delivery services. Anyway, I used it yesterday especially because there was a discount, 50% off groceries for a certain group of people who used the app in October. Maybe 42 million people, that group. Yeah, if you know, you know. So, of course I used it because I wanted 50% off my groceries. And I was going to cook dinner last night, going to cook dinner tonight, and I had lunch for the kids. Ordered my groceries, got the delivery confirmation as I always do. And I Instacart quite frequently. My son goes to the door to get the groceries. Mom, there's no groceries here. There's no groceries out here. I said, okay, maybe she put them by the garage. Go check by the garage. No groceries. So I checked the app to see if she took a confirmation picture. She took a picture from her car across the street so you could just see a blurred image of my home. No, not a grocery bag in sight. And yes, we have an alarm system, so there was no detection of anybody at my door. So when we put 2 + 2 together, we equal this lady stole my damn groceries. So I'm like, oh, okay. I know things are about to get a little different around here because that special group of people that promotion is for is not going to receive the things that they're supposed to receive every month. Right. So is this going to be the norm? Is this going to, or not the norm, but at least something that's a little bit more common? Now, like I said, I've been using it for 10 years, never experienced it. Some others have. I don't know. All I did was suggest, okay, y'all, let's be a little bit more aware that sometimes in instances like this, people may feel that their backs are against the wall and they may do some dishonest things to feed their family or whatever. I put that on another app, like my neighborhood app. Oh, they ate me up. I was stereotyping. I was doing this and that. And I didn't even put on there, excuse you, I'm affected by this change. I didn't want to put that on there because, yes, I live in the suburbs. You guys know my story. Accidental stay-at-home mom. Accidental stay-at-home mom got to use certain things to get by, right? So, yeah, they ate me up on the app. They said I was stereotyping. They said I was, what'd they say? That I was being unfair to the working poor who receive SNAP.
Not knowing she used SNAP.
I just said be aware that we may see an increase of this type of behavior in the coming days. And yes, I posted it in here in a moment because I was pissed. Somebody who looks like me decided to steal the groceries that I purchased to feed me and my family. So yeah, I was a little taken aback by that. I was pissed because then I had to drive out and go figure dinner out and buy fast food, which I really didn't want to do. You know, I was trying to make
all that to say, you should have got your ass up and went to go get them damn groceries. I know y'all want to use Instacart. It's so convenient. It's this, it's that. But now your ass out of $400 worth of food stamps. See, I don't even trust people that much. I use Target. Like, I go to Target, pick my order up. I go to Kroger. They got a delivery service. But mind you, you know what Kroger did? Kroger left. I was trying to get Kroger before I went out of town. Kroger delayed my food to the next day. Guess what? I was going out of damn town. You know they left my groceries there at 6 a.m. Bro, I was pissed. I told them not to. I said, you might as well just junk that one. No, they left my groceries right there. They sat there all day long. Mind you, I had somebody come pick them up. I had somebody come pick up the groceries. And I said, just take them home. I ain't going to be back for a week. What I'm going to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Have at it, nigga. And, you know, but Kroger still refunded me my money. And I told fam, I said, hey, Hey, bring some of that back. You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't. But yeah, I said I never trust a delivery service again. I won't. I trust Amazon, but I won't trust you with my food. I mean, you're gonna have, mind you, we got people going around picking our fruits and vegetables, and these people don't wash their hands. What up, T6? Thank you for the 2 Jews, man. Thank you for the 2 Jews. Or he sent a 100 sign. Man, thank you, brother. Hey, man, y'all need to be more like T6 in this piece. Hit that like button while you in here. But yeah, man, stop trusting these people, because they just, y'all know what people at Walmart look like. I'm not just talking bad on them, but you walk through there and you see the people pushing the carts. They might have washed their hands, but for them to put their hands all on your fruit. Oh, matter of fact, man, I went to the convenience store today, and I bought a canned soda, and the cashier took my can, put his hand on the top, and like spent it around, and he had his hand on the top of the can, like, bruh, I'm finna drink on that. So I was just like, I had to go get me a wet wipe, and I had to clean. I was like, he just put his hand all on the top, spent it around. I'm like, bruh, I don't know what you did with your hand, but you could like grab the side or something. Like, see, that's why I don't want a delivery service for my food. Y'all too nice. I don't know. And that's what happened. You should have got your ass up and went to that grocery store. Cause no. I can't. When that guy put his hand on my soda, it just reminded me of why I don't want nobody touching my bell peppers. don't pick me up. All box food. Don't pick me up no meat. Don't pick me up no. Y'all too nice.
What if the SNAP program was defunded to hide the fact that this administration has taken the backup SNAP program funding and used it somewhere else? What we do know is that SNAP was supposed to continue on regardless of a government shutdown because there was supplemental backup funds allocated just for SNAP. However, what happens if this administration, in the darkness of night, decided to reallocate those funds? Perhaps maybe that's how he was able to fund his birthday parade of $40 million. Perhaps maybe the $500 million that was used to paint the border wall was taken from the SNAP supplementary fund. Perhaps maybe the funds that were supposed to be allocated.
Oh yeah, he did all that. I told y'all, he cut 600,000 people off of SNAP this year. 600,000 people off of SNAP. So when taking 600,000 people off Snap, what you think? He like, we got to use the money somehow. What it be like? Don't save money, spend it. Spend that money, big dog.
This dude is panicking. He's panicking because he doesn't have the money. He's panicking because he spent the money. The SNAP contingency fund, whatever tariff money that came in, it was not trillions, but it is estimated to be about 80 billion. It's gone. It's spent. Not just that, but this goes all the way back to USAID and the Doge stuff. They have taken money from all kinds of places in the government. And he's panicking now because the Supreme Court, in their oral arguments the other day, sounded like, even the conservatives, that they're going to rule against him on the tariffs being unconstitutional, which means he has to give the money back. And he's panicking because he doesn't have the money to give it back. He's riddled with dementia, so he's out here just admitting it. This is just an admission. This is the biggest theft of the American government in our history. We don't even know the tip of the iceberg. This is absolutely insane. We need a full audit of every dollar that has been spent in our government since January.
Do y'all think, like, in 10 years from now, we're going to be sitting over here with mesothelioma side effects talking about, if you watch Trump during the government shutdown, steal SNAP benefits, you could be a victim if you were receiving SNAP benefits between the year of 2025 and 2026 and you didn't receive your SNAP benefits, you could be subject to a class action lawsuit. Mesothelioma all over again. We gonna see this year. We ain't gonna see it now. We ain't gonna see it now. But if you got SNAP benefits right now, make sure you document it so whenever the class action lawsuit come out in about 10, 15 years, you'll be straight.
They said it would never happen. They laughed when Trump said that he would abolish the IRS. But here we are, October 2025, and folks, it is actually happening. Phase 1 was cutting their funding. Phase 2, shutting it down from the inside. The IRS is collapsing, 25,000 employees gone, programs frozen, audits canceled, while Trump's new tariff revolution is bringing in record money from foreign nations. And that's the part that they don't want you to know. Because for decades, the IRS didn't just collect your taxes, the IRS controlled you, your paycheck, your business, your bank account, they owned it all. But now the power is slipping away, and the same global elites who thought that they would own America forever are in full-blown panic mode. Trump's one big beautiful bill is rewriting the entire tax code, flipping the system upside down. No more taxing your overtime, no more taxing your tips. And if phase 3 rolls out the way that insiders are saying that it will, you might be looking at the beginning of the end of income tax as we know it. So buckle up, guys, because in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how President Trump's IRS shutdown just hit phase 2, why tariff revenue is exploding today, and why Washington insiders are terrified that for the first time in 100 years, the money is flowing back. They said it would never.
Yeah, that when people say this about the IRS going away and now we're going to be living, well, not living, well, the government will be funded by tariffs. The government spending is crazy. And if we're going to be using tariffs to, basically fund the most funded military in the world. The most funded military in the world. Trillions of dollars a year. Man, this could be a really good plan. But on the other hand, it could be a fucking disaster. and a little over, because Trump was trying to do this his first presidency. So now he's continuing on from his first presidency. He gets rid of the IRS. You know why he gets rid of the IRS? Why? Why does Trump want to get rid of the IRS? Taxes. Trump hates taxes. His billionaire friends who aren't really his friends until he became president, now they're his friends. Because if you hear what's his name, Robert Kraft from the New England Patriots, who's the owner of the Patriots? Anyway, the owner of the Patriots hate Trump, hates him since he became president, donating billions, not billions, but he donating. Okay. all the elites hated Trump until he became president. They're like, that's my nigga. Okay. Come on, man. They said that. They didn't say that out loud, but they said it. But then nobody liked Trump. Then the billionaires. Black people black people put Trump in every rap song until he became president. You see that? Speaking of black people, let's get to this.
The Trump administration has killed the IRS's free tax filing service.
Oh, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Let's listen to this crazy ass shit.
I told him this morning what we've talked about many times and what I've said here before. The president is on the ballot in 2026. President Trump is on the ballot next fall. Because if we lose the majority, if the Republicans, the common sense people here who are doing the job for the American people, if we lose the majority in the House and this radical element of the Democrat Party were able to take over, we've already seen that movie. They will try to end the Trump administration. He won't have 4 years, he'll have only 2, because they will move to impeach him probably on the first day of the new Congress in January 2027. And they will try to systematically unwind all the important reforms that we've done for the American people to lower costs, to have a better quality of living, on health care to increase access and quality of care. We are the party that is doing that, and the president needs 4 years to complete his agenda, not just 2. So he is in a very real sense on the ballot. He's fiercely committed to us winning. He is going to help. He's offered to do rallies and the town halls and all the things. He's sent out a huge round of endorsements of incumbents, Republican incumbents, just over the last few days. He is very much engaged, very dialed in, and he understands the stakes. President Trump is on the ballot in 2026, and we're looking forward to that contest.
Okay, so let's break down what Speaker Mike Johnson really said and what he actually didn't. He stood up there talking about Trump being on the ballot in 2026. Let's talk about the psychology behind that. See, on the right, they look at stuff like this as just politics, but what it really is fear conditioning. He's not telling voters to support policy. He's telling them to protect the king. He's merging Trump's survival with the Republican Party's survival. And what do we call that? That's cult behavior, not democracy. Now, you might wonder why they sit here and consistently call Democrats radicals. He's not warning about danger, he's protecting it. Because that's what manipulators do. They always accuse you of what they are actually doing. He says that Republicans are lowering cost and improving healthcare, but just look around you. Prices are still high, healthcare is still a mess, and they're cutting the very programs that working middle-class people actually depend on. That's gaslighting, plain and simple. Oh, and when he says Democrats will impeach on day one, he's not prophesying. That is preemptive damage control. He's already planting the seed. So if Trump is held accountable for his crimes in government right now, his followers, MAGA, will see it as revenge instead of justice. Mike Johnson is not leading a party. He is managing a psychological dependency. The GOP's not even a movement anymore. It's a defense mechanism built around one man. And once a political party loses that identity to one man, that's not democracy. I'm sorry. That's a dictatorship with the little Trump branding.
Y'all believe that? Hey, listen. If the Republican Party was a black man, he'd be a narcissist. All the black women be called the Republican Party narcissists. It'd be podcasts everywhere talking about how the Republican Party is a narcissist. Sheesh. I'm about going 50-50. We looking ass. Boy, but the Republican Party is turning black, so let's get to that.
What was it that led you to be Republicans?
Interesting questions. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, extremely poor. Lights, gas, and water off at the same time. Mom addicted to crack cocaine. I grew up in an environment which told me that if you were a Republican, if you were conservative, quite simply, you were a racist. Point blank, period. It didn't matter who you were. That's just what I was taught. So me ever wanting to evaluate or explore the ideology of a conservative was something that was totally off base until one day, having a conversation with an African-American gentleman who was senior, challenged my point of view. Then I went and researched and discovered that the Republican Party was actually started in 1854 in opposition to the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which wanted to expand slavery. Every civil rights bill that was passed in part due to Republican support.
How did you, from Compton, how did you end up being a Republican?
Growing up in Compton, we actually grew up in a conservative household. Christians, stood on the Word of God.
Amen.
And my grandfather and my grandmother were like my parents, and they taught me the ways to go. Voted Democrat for many years. My uncle, a police officer, retired now, is the one that started teaching me about we've been blind and brainwashed. And voting for a party that keeps us in poverty has us voting for food stamps, independency, and there's no growth.
What a lot of people don't realize is that Martin Luther King's father was a Republican his whole life.
Yes.
Dr. King grew up a Republican.
Yes.
And most people don't realize that most black people in America were Republicans.
All right, let's see what this last one said. 13th Amendment abolished slavery, 100% Republican support, 23% Democrat. 14th Amendment gave citizenship to free slaves, 94% Republican support, 15th Amendment right to vote for all, 100% Republican support. You know what? This could very well be true, 100% true. I don't know. I wasn't around at that time, but I'm gonna just say this. Democrats started following Republicans for a reason, and I think the Democrats and the Republicans at some point in time switched hands. Like Republicans did want to free the slaves and all this stuff. But then at some point they switched hands. I mean, what made black people switch over to Democrats? If that's the case, we should have just stayed Republican. But you know what the thing is? If the Klan switched to Republican, because the Klan did switch to Republican, right? We keep talking about black people. Who else is Republicans? They against black people. They Republican. People who hate black people who hate lazy people, who equate lazy to black people or black people to being lazy are Republican. So I think what it is America always uses black people as a way to shift government. Mind you, how many black people are being used for visuals as SNAP benefits? I'm actually watching videos. Like last night, I watched a video where a guy was portraying that all these black people were out fighting people for stamps, but he was showing old videos of people using food stamps and stuff. Like, it wasn't nothing in 2025. These was videos from like 2018, 2019 of the foolery that we saw on the internet. And he was using AI videos, and he was black. It was a white lady used nothing but AI videos to show black people freaking out over SNAP not being able, like a woman cussing out the cashier about her EBT declining. Man, it was fake as hell. But all I'm saying is, I think whoever is using America is using black people to push whatever political narrative. And I don't want to be used as a political pawn, but here we are. Somebody think I don't got a job, and I just use food stamps because I'm on the internet every day, all day. That's why I'm called Everyday PJ, because they think that I'm online with no job getting food stamps. Why? Because I'm black. It has nothing to do with anything else. Think I'm lazy and I just sit here on YouTube every day, but it has nothing to do with anything but the fact that I'm black. So I don't know. We gotta get to when black people left the Republican Party and became Democrats. So hopefully somewhere in this we'll figure that out.
I thought black people only voted for black people. I thought we only voted for someone based on their color. I thought we only voted based on identity politics. That's strange. I guess we don't. I thought black people only voted for black people.
Y'all ever wonder why the Republican Party used to have a ton of black voters? Because, yeah, believe it or not, black people, we were riding with the GOP for nearly a century. But then something changed. So let's talk about it. The Republican Party was the original party of black progress. When the Republican Party was founded in 1854, it was literally the anti-slavery party. Lincoln freed enslaved black people. The Republicans passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, giving black men freedom, citizenship, and voting rights. And Frederick Douglass, did y'all know he was a proud Republican? Because back then, the GOP actually fought for black progress. So, needless to say, for decades, black people were overwhelmingly Republican and stayed true to that path until the Great Depression. So what happened? The Great Depression hit and black communities got hit the hardest. FDR's New Deal in the 1930s, Democrats finally started offering some economic relief, and black people noticed. But we couldn't be so easily swayed, so we weren't fully sold on the Democrats yet. But yeah, we took notice as to who was actually putting food on the table. And this was the first major crack in the black loyalty towards the GOP. But the real breaking point came in the 1960s, when Democrats finally embraced civil rights. And the Republicans, they made their choice. JFK and LBJ, they pushed for desegregation and voting rights. Most black people at this point had already left the GOP, but now we were all in with the Democrats. Meanwhile, Nixon's Southern strategy in 1968 catered to white voters who were angry about integration. So instead of fighting for black votes, the GOP went after the white backlash vote. Then came Reagan, and the dog whistles, they got loud. He pushed the welfare queen stereotype just to justify cutting the social programs that help black communities. He opposed the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. So, needless to say, by the 1980s, the GOP, they were fully the party of white grievance politics. They weren't trying to win black votes anymore. They were just trying to suppress us. And John McCain, he wasn't perfect, but he wasn't a puppet. He shut down conspiracy theories instead of fueling them. He respected democracy even when he lost. And he didn't turn his party into a cult. And when he died in 2018, so did the last shred of dignity in the Republican Party. So, who is the Republican Party? They stand for voter suppression instead of winning elections fairly, culture wars instead of policies that help people, and owning the libs instead of governing. Black voters didn't abandon the GOP. The GOP abandoned black voters. And now, they don't even pretend to want us back. The Republican Party went from fighting for freedom to fighting against progress. And this is where we are. Y'all are...
Boy, she ain't lying. I told y'all we was going to figure it out one way or another. But y'all don't be listening. And black people been Republicans. So when black people come up and be on goddamn on YouTube talking about, oh, black people need to be Republicans. Black people been Republicans, but they abandoned your black ass. But y'all didn't listen. Now you just a DEI of black. You just a DEI of Republicans, fool. But whatever. It's all good. But hey, vote your interest. Vote your interest. You know, if Republican Party suits you, vote it. But you can't talk about black Democrats as if they beneath you, or because I ain't po. I ain't po. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. But and I don't have SNAP, and I'm not on no government assistance, and my kids don't receive government health care. So when you say you push that, yeah, I'm for it. I ain't got to use it, but I'm not finna stop nobody else from having it. Cause why would I stop somebody else from receiving benefits that could help them push forward? Because the same benefits that I receive, that people probably receiving now, I receive wealth. What is it? SNAP benefits. I don't even think it was called SNAP at the time, but maybe it was. I received food stamps at a time. I knew I wasn't gonna stay on them. I wasn't gonna stay on them. I got my shit and I got up out of there. You know. So should everybody? Yeah. Will everybody? Probably not. It's not my choice. But I'm not finna stop. I'm not finna stop. It's like there's about 500 crimes a day. And about 50 of them, not 500 crimes. There's 500 good working people going to work every day. And there's about 50 people committing crimes. Should I stop 500 people from eating because 50 people want to commit a crime every day? It's not my call. Not my call, dog. But I would say I wouldn't let them go. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, you can steal from us. No, I wouldn't let it go. Yeah, I try to alleviate the situation, but should I cut everybody off to stop 50 people? It's just not right. But whatever. Anyway, more black Republicans. I'll say all this to say how black people switch from being Republicans to Democrats because we did it for our own selfish reasons, and black people can't stick together, and all it takes for somebody to wave a little bit of cheese to you, and your rat ass will be right over there doing whatever. And that's how black people always been, is if we go to wherever the cheese is, and that's how we get caught up in the trap. Because we could stand on our own 2 feet. Now, mind you, when she talked about in 1930 and all that, and it was like, this was happening, yeah, also the burning of our communities was happening. The burning of our communities is what happened. And we could stand on we had people standing on 2 feet. In fact, some of us was doing so good, they were standing on one and you letting somebody else use their other foot so they could stand on it. Black people was thriving, but then, they didn't want to see that. But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother subject.
We can pinpoint the exact moment when black people became Democrat.
Really?
And it was a 90-second phone call. October of 1960, Nixon and JFK are embroiled in the tightest race ever. MLK is in jail. He's always in jail. But they're about to put him in this penal farm in rural Georgia. Coretta is...
Mind y'all, misspell your cuss words in the chat so you won't, so you could get your stuff off. Just misspell the cuss word. Like, it ain't that hard. Like, use that.
His wife, pregnant, she's frantic. She picks up the phone and she calls Nixon's camp. She says, hey, here's what's going on. Can you pull some strings? Get my husband out. Nixon blows her off. She picks up the phone and she calls JFK. 90-second phone call. JFK says, I'm with you, whatever you need. Yeah. She gets off the phone, tells her father-in-law, MLK's dad, MLK Sr., who's the head pastor at Ebenezer, who at the time was a registered Republican. He says, I'm a Democrat now. He recruits all of his pastoral friends, gets all the black newspapers. They go on this big campaign to get JFK in office. JFK wins by 100,000 whatever votes. Here's what's interesting. In 1956, Eisenhower was a Republican. He won with 60% of the black vote. In 1960, JFK wins with 70%.
There you go.
Of the black vote.
Wow.
Now, I tell that story not to say what swung people was empathy.
Yeah.
That's what, and I feel like that's what's missing today.
That's a big swing in such a short time. Man, how much truth do you guys think this is? Put it in the comments.
It's the truth.
We can pinpoint the exact.
It's the truth because black people, anywhere there's a deal, black people will be there. And at the time in politics, when black people can, they said, you can vote, Negro. You can go vote. It's only like 3/5 of a vote, but hey, it's yours. If a couple of y'all, it take 5 of y'all together make 3 people. Okay? 5. Man, this is crazy. But when all you gotta do is tell people what they want to hear. Tell black people what you want to hear, and they switch. I mean, you can't. I don't know. If I start making $1 million, I might go conservative because that's how you Negroes go. When Negroes get money, they go straight conservative. Oh, I need to save this money. How about you just stay true to yourself and vote for your interests? But you go full on conservative. Once they go conservative, they start tearing down other black people. I told y'all, I'll be watching this black creator, this content creator. I'll be like, damn, he will go hard on a black person. He goes so hard. He went so hard on black women in Snap. He went so hard. Man, this girl that was this color, I don't know if she was white, Mexican, or whatever. She wasn't black. She was a other. Okay? She did some stuff and got pregnant by a random guy. Oh, he gave her so much sympathy. I was like, bro, this is not how black conservatives are supposed to be. If you're going to hold a black woman accountable for having Pookie, getting pregnant by Pookie and Ray Ray and Lil Tay and Zay Osama locked up for life, and that's one of the baby daddies, and you know, but then you let Ashley over here. You let Ashley slide because she took accountability. That's the only thing I have about black conservatives is that y'all want to be white so bad that y'all tear down your own black community without lifting them up and without being like, oh, okay, this is wrong. Let's help this fix this out. That's what Charlie Kirk made millions of dollars on the backs of black folks and then donate to one goddamn NAACP. Didn't donate to no HBCU. Didn't donate to nothing black. But always had the black people in his mouth. Black, you black, blackity black, black. All y'all black. But didn't donate to black people. And then cause black conservatives see what he doing. Oh, he made a lot of money tearing down blacks. Blackity black, 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 black. Guess what? None of them are showing up to HBCUs to teach other blacks, young blacks. If I'm gonna be conservative, I'm gonna tell you why I'm conservative, and I'm gonna donate to you. I'm gonna donate to your college fund. I'm gonna do something for your community. They not doing that. They just telling you, nigga, you on food stamps. Nigga, you don't know how to talk to nobody. Nigga, you don't do this. And these are black folks.
When you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party comes to mind? The Republicans or the Democrats? Most people would probably say,
no, I didn't say blacks are entitled to Charlie Kirk's money. No, blacks need this money. Obviously, he won't be giving any no time soon. I'm saying every clip you see on the internet is about what? Black people. Okay, so if people are making money off of Charlie Kirk's black people rhetoric, where was Charlie Kirk's money to any black? It could have been a damn basketball team. I wouldn't even have felt no way about it. Because he's like, blacks are good at basketball. Let me donate to a couple of their basketball teams. That's what I'm saying. It don't even matter. I'm not saying. And where was his solutions to the black community? Where was his solutions to the black community? See, that's what I be saying. And then when black conservatives come out as super conservatives and black people need to lead the Democratic Party and because Trump did this and Trump gonna do that and y'all need to do this. Man, everybody not you and you not everybody. But what are you gonna do for your black community? Oh man, I go and give turkeys to the black community every Thanksgiving. Okay. That's excellent. Handing out turkeys to the less fortunate, or just to people who don't want to buy a $50 turkey this year. Because I know y'all seen the price of turkey, and y'all thinking about these goddamn tariffs. Like, goddamn, where do turkeys come from? Turkey, looking at us. Do turkeys come from Turkey? They so goddamn high. They import it, and we got to pay the tariffs on turkeys. If you too stupid to understand that joke, then I don't know what the fuck you here for. Because obviously y'all don't get most of my jokes, because y'all just be in the comment section on some weird shit. But it's goddamn. I done lost my point. Anyway, you give turkeys to the hood. That ain't solving a problem. That you just using that as a tax write-off, your conservative mind. Because in my democratic mind, I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. But you know what? I would take it a step further. Because these are my people. If you donate to the black community just to say you're a conservative black person, you just doing it for clout. Like, just I'm showing, like, people it's just like going to feed the homeless and recording it. You going to feed the homeless and recording it. Man, you just doing that shit for clout. You don't really care about them. Because if you really cared about them, you'd be doing it often. You'll have a real passion. You'll set up a fund for them. You'll do something real for them. But really, you just use it for a tax write-off. But that's why I don't understand black conservatives. Because they do a lot of down talking other black people. That shit is so retarded. But it is what it is. Like, turkey goes up in price around Thanksgiving. You a damn lie. Man, you could buy a turkey any time of the year. It's still high. Bro, why would you raise the price of turkey to sell more? The only time the price of turkey drops is after Thanksgiving. After that, it levels off. It goes right back up. The price of turkeys are always up. Even when they was cheap, you be like, oh, they kind of high. Because you be like, you so used to seeing turkeys at $20, $25. Remember your job. Your job used to give you a $25 turkey thing. That was 10 years ago, bro. That was 10 years ago. That your job will give you a turkey. They call it turkey bucks. 10 years ago. That your job would give you turkey bucks for $25. It don't matter what time of the year you went to go get a turkey. That damn thing was still $25. Y'all be lying to y'allself. Well, groceries aren't expensive. Man, okay. Well, it's inflation. Yes, I know that. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, I don't know what the fuck people be thinking. Like inflation ain't year over year. Y'all
The Democrats.
Y'all don't even spend y'all turkey bucks on turkeys. Y'all go get whatever the hell you want to. Because when you go to cash register, they say it's the same as cash. Your job just being nice to you because they can't give you a pizza party, so they give you a turkey buck. After you didn't went in there and slave for, 100 hours in 2 weeks.
But this answer is incorrect. Since its founding in 1829, the Democratic Party has fought against every major civil rights initiative and has a long history of discrimination. The Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, perpetrated lynchings, and fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s. In contrast, the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely. This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court in the 1857 case.
All I gotta say, yeah, all this may be true. All this information is factual information that you could go look up. But the thing is, the Republicans of today and of yesterday saw once they let black people in, they was like, oh, they violent, they steal, they kill, they they making babies and they not taking care of them. Tyrone was probably Joshua back then. He done dipped off on all his kids, started a family, sleeping with white women with integration. The Republicans was like, wait, Negro. We let y'all out. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all can't be doing all this stuff. Y'all can't be starting. Y'all can't. Oh, y'all just started a business and now my business is falling off because now all the black people going to your business. Oh no, brother. Now we gotta go talk to our white friends. So now all the white friends get together. Guess what we gonna call ourselves the Ku Klux Klan. And we gonna stop all these Negroes that we done freed. We as Republicans, we gonna stop all them from, taking all their cotton to the black cotton gin when they need to keep on supporting this white cotton gin over here. Remember, I told y'all about this story. This is a true story. White people in Oklahoma was upset that black people, after y'all freed the slaves, Republican Party freed the slaves, went and burnt down the black cotton gin because the black people stopped going to the white cotton gin. Like, man, let's not act like it was just like these are dates and times. There were things and actions and things that happened within communities that made people change from Republican to Democrat or to over time. It wasn't just overnight. Yeah, it was overnight in big metropolitan areas, but you got to think about everybody ain't in damn Dallas, Texas. Everybody ain't in New York City, Philly, Philadelphia. You got people in Dunkirk, Alabama. I don't even know if that's a city, but I'm just making up some shit that you wouldn't know about, that there's some stuff didn't happen. So
Ed Scott versus Sandford. The court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery, all Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented, both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves. 6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered, John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency. But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves into the South's economic and social order. Johnson and the Democratic Party were unified in their opposition to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, the 14th Amendment, which gave blacks citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave blacks the vote. All 3 passed only because of universal Republican support. During the era of Reconstruction, federal troops stationed in the South helped secure rights for the newly freed slaves. Hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by...
Hey, notice how nicely she's putting this. It's so nice to hear someone with a sweet voice tell us how prominent and how well established black people were, and we were welcomed with open arms into these areas. Like, black people, we need you. She said black people in the South. What year was this?
And 22 black Republicans served to Southern state stationed in the South.
1865 to 1877.
Helped secure rights for the newly freed slaves. Hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state.
1865 to 1877. There was no racial divide in the South around this time. In fact, like, the black community was thriving so much they were able to build their own communities in their areas. Black people messed that up. Black people messed up everything. we started having babies out of wedlock. We started leaving our babies. We started committing crimes. We started the murder rate went up sky high. Black people started using switches. Black people brought crack to the black neighborhoods in California. Black people spread crack and gangs. The spread of crack spread gangs across America. Black people did all that. We destroyed ourselves because back in 1865 we had such a great push from white people. The white people didn't care. They wanted to integrate us. They was happy with the integration of black people. Like I get the history lesson to tell how great Republicans were to black people. But it ain't the Republicans that switched black people from Republicans to Democrats. It's the shit the Republicans was getting tired of. Oh, we got to share our schools with the... I mean, I said we'll free you, but we didn't want you to learn the language. We didn't want to teach you how to read. Not with our white kids. Because you can't tell me it wasn't no Republicans on the front line telling black people they can't come into the schools. You can't tell me there was no Republicans out there saying that. But that would be far-fetched to believe that, right? And that's why blacks are Democrats and blacks left the Republican Party. Or blacks should have stayed because we strong enough, black people strong enough to endure all that. We strong enough. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say to black women when they be having these babies and they don't want to give you no pain medicine.
Legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by 1900. The Democrats did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. But after Reconstruction ended, when the federal troops went home, Democrats roared back into power in the South. They quickly reestablished white supremacy across the region with measures like black codes, laws that restricted the ability of blacks to own property and run businesses, and they imposed poll taxes and literacy tests used to subvert black citizens' right to vote. And how was all of this enforced? By terror, much of it instigated by the Ku Klux Klan, founded by a Democrat, Nathan Bedford Forrest. As historian Eric Foner, himself a Democrat, notes, in effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party. President Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, shared many views with the Klan. He resegregated many federal agencies and even screened the first movie ever played at the White House, the racist film, The Birth of a Nation, originally entitled The Klansman. A few decades later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from Democrats. 80% of Republicans in Congress supported the bill, less than 70% of Democrats did. Democratic senators filibustered the bill for 75 days until Republicans mustered the few extra votes needed to break the logjam. And when all of their efforts to enslave blacks, keep them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy. If black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats, as President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act. I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years. So now, the Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality, it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. So when you think about racial equality and civil rights, Which political party should come to mind? I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University for Prager. When you think
Don't forget the Republicans was tired of Cardi B and Sexy Red too in 1865. Man, like we can't tell them enough. Now listen, the Democrat Party may have done a lot of injustices. Okay, let's just say this. They started SNAP, or they started government housing to keep black men out the home. The Republicans are in power now. So what are they doing to keep black men in the home? Matter of fact, let's not even keep black men in the home. If you want my vote, let's not say keep black men in the home. Let's say keep black men or any man in their child's life. Like when is a candidate gonna come out and be like, yeah, you can't withhold your children just because you a bitter baby mama. Y'all still got to split 50-50 custody off the rip. Man, if y'all so worried about black people not being in the black men not being in the home, why don't y'all hold black men accountable and make them have their child 50% of the time, no matter where they at. I want to see Republicans for black men. Where are Republicans for black men? Come see us with black men issues. Black men issues is if you want my vote, I want to see real black man issues. I don't want to see like less tax on tariffs, or I don't want to see what other Republican issues are illegal immigration reform or healthcare reform or nothing like that. I want to see black men should be afforded lawyers as soon as they have a baby, and just in case your baby mama decide she want to leave you or call you a narcissist or all that other stuff. Or if they should make a automatic DNA testing. Automatic DNA testing. Like, show me something that make me want to be like, oh, you know what? We ain't. Everybody come here giving a history lesson. Well, black people been Republicans from the beginning of time. Man, all y'all asses was brought over here on slave ships. So shut that shit up. We're going to give a history of where black people got to damn America. They were never for us from the get-go. But here we are arguing with other black folks about black folk stuff. That's what.
Black people didn't always vote for the Democratic candidate in every presidential election. So when did the switch happen? And why? We know that Abraham Lincoln and the Republicans were responsible for ending most forms of slavery in the U.S. So it's no surprise that black people that could vote voted for Republicans in the late 1800s. However, as time went on, Republicans moved further and further away from helping black people, and when the Great Depression hit, Republicans were in power and black people were hit even harder than the rest of the nation. Fast forward a few years, and the nation ends up with a Democratic president named Franklin Roosevelt, also known as FDR. Roosevelt's new programs to help the nation deal with the Great Depression were not especially designed to help black people, but black people were being helped by these programs. And for many of these black people, this was the first time that they were receiving tangible assistance.
So now, but also what they're saying is those programs, not only did they help black people, but they also hurt black people because those programs kept the black father out the home. So when you hear people say Charlie Kirk, you hear Charlie Kirk say, oh, well, the problem is the black father has not been in the home, but those are by Democrat policies. So just to say, and who might I add was that it wasn't a black man. It sure wasn't a black man talking about keep the black man out the home.
From the federal government in decades. So when Roosevelt went up for re-election in 1936, a majority of black people voted for the Democrat. And the majority of black folks have been voting that way ever since. Black people didn't always...
Those 8 Democrats caving to Trump and to MAGA tells us one really important thing. That we blacks can't depend on the Democrats. We can't let them lead our struggle. It's time for us, black voters, to take control of the Democratic Party. Because without us, the Democratic Party is weak. But with us leading the way, it can be strong enough to help us close the disparities and the inequities that our community continues to face. But that requires fighters and warriors, not politicians who fold every time Trump raises his voice. You see, we and our ancestors, we have fought men like Trump for 4 centuries. We've stood against them through slavery, Jim Crow, systemic racism, sharecropping, segregation, convict leasing, and so much more. So that fight is in our DNA. But many white liberals, they don't have that history. They've never struggled a day in their lives. They don't carry the legacy of resistance that we do. So why would we let them who've never lived out that kind of struggle control our struggle? They can help us. We need their help, but they cannot lead us. So that's why I created something called impact voting. Impact voting is about using our collective power to take charge of the Democratic Party. It's not about this foolishness of voting the couch and sitting out elections and all of that craziness. That's what has us in the mess we're in today. No, it's about voting impactfully, thoughtfully, and voting overwhelmingly. And it's also about voting for the right people we choose from our community. Because when we vote overwhelmingly, thoughtfully, impactfully for the right hand-picked people, we decide who gets elected. We decide which policies get passed. And we can stop anti-black policies like Project 2025. So that's how we take real power. That's how we take control. So if you want to understand exactly how impact voting works and how we build that power, watch my latest YouTube video on the Defiant Lawyers. Because the next election, folks, it's not about saving the Democratic Party. It's not about the Democratic Party saving us. It's about us controlling the Democratic Party with impact voting. And as always,
you know one thing, he makes a great point. We need to take control of the Democratic Party, but the only problem with that, Nick, we don't control America. Like, we ain't everywhere. We not in Vermont. We not in Montana. We not in these spaces that vote Democrat, but it's not represented with black people. Black people don't have representation everywhere. That's why we need to be independents, so we can be independent from. Now, I'm not saying this. Don't let me change your damn political stance. But we need to be independent from Democrats, independent from Republicans, but because we also need to vote our interests in our areas. And that's why we never have a say-so when we vote Democrat, because we don't know what the fuck going on in Idaho, Utah, Oregon. Even though there's black people everywhere, we don't know what's going on with that. So we do need to have an independent vote. I'm not saying we just disassociate ourselves from Republicans or Democrats, but if we're gonna do something, because every time something come up, or this person has the black voters, this person had, they be like, when they say Trump had the black voters, I'm like, nigga, in what state? This is Oklahoma. He got the black voters in Oklahoma. Who is you Negroes? They vote in their interest. But you know what? The most of Oklahomans live in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So you got 5 congressional colleges or whatever, electoral colleges in Oklahoma. And the two most valuable ones has more people than everybody in the state. The other 3 get the same electoral votes, but have like 90% less people in each of those areas. So how are they getting all the black votes in Oklahoma? It's crazy. You know why? Because black people live in those conservative areas. It is what it is, man. Black people stay woke if we're going to give our vote.
I learned today that they really do believe that black people are a monolith. Let me tell you how I learned it. So many people approached me today. They want to talk about the election. So I was out around the courthouse talking to some fellow lawyers. Now that's important because there are other lawyers who are comfortable talking to me because we've had a legal relationship for the better part of 20 years. And so one has recently moved to Virginia, and she is from the Pennsylvania area, and she was just happened to be at the courthouse, and she's like, hey, let's grab lunch. What we did. Anyway, that's just an aside. So I need you to know that she's from Pennsylvania, that Pennsylvania part that I talked to you about, and she has moved to Virginia. And so she's talking to me, and she says, I just don't understand how Winsome lost. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, I really thought that you guys would vote her in. What? Yeah, she would have been the first black woman governor in the United States. And yeah, and there's such a large black population. And then we find out that like 90% of black people like voted for Spanberger. I'm so confused. And we've been talking about it. I said, well, you've been talking about it to everybody but us. And so she said, what do you mean? I was like, have you seen that woman? And she's like, yeah. I said, everything about that woman said that we weren't going to vote for her. And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, that woman always looked like me on the day that I need to go get my hair done. Not on the day that I'm showing up for the cameras and to be out here public speaking. I said, but on top of that, I said, that she's of Jamaican descent. She's like, yeah. I mean, that's great. She's like, she's an immigrant. I said, okay, well, let's talk about that. I said, she's of Jamaican descent and has told you that she's basically been the beneficiary of all of the DEI, all of the affirmative action, all of the programs, all of the social network that has been created on the backs of, African-American descendant slaves. She's like, I've never heard that term before. And I'm like, yeah, African-American descendant slaves. I was like, that's a very specific group. I said, and we have a very specific relationship to the United States because of it. She's like, well, yeah, but what's that got to do with it? I said, well, I was like, many times immigrants, and especially ones who look like me, they get the benefit of the things that we fought for, but they don't understand the struggles of where we've been. So we get a lot of that, in the media. And she's like, I said, so example is like Cynthia Erivo. And she's like, I don't. I said, haven't you ever seen all the backlash we get about the things that she says? And she doesn't understand it. And she's like, yeah, well, I said, hey, awesomely lovely. That's another one that, recently been issued. But I just don't understand. I said, because it's not for you to understand. What I need y'all to do is stay out of our business like we stay out of yours. See, y'all don't study us. We study you. You have like kind of no idea how we relate to one another and how we deal with one another and how we understand one another. What you see is that everybody got this color skin, so we all the same. You see us as a monolith. And I said, we are not. I said, in actuality, I said, amongst my folks, we know they're all skin folk ain't kinfolk. She's like, yeah. I said, do you see us out here supporting Clarence Thomas? I said, do you see us out here supporting Rick Scott? Do you see us out here supporting Ben Carson? Did you see us out here supporting Candace Owens? I said, win some was all of them rolled up into one. So she wins some, but she lost some. And more importantly, she lost the right thing. So I just couldn't believe how much I really was face to face with somebody who's known me for 20 years and has no concept of who I am, because she thinks we're all a monolith.
Man, she not lying. She not lying, because guess what? When people come over here from different countries, black people in general, speaking out, shout out to my people who born in different countries, but you niggas too. They be like, man, my mom came over here. She didn't have no job. She didn't have her papers. She was working for this person. She worked 3 jobs. My dad did this and this and this. And then, they did all this to put us in a good school. And I love my Jamaican heritage and all this stuff. But then they also be like, I love being black. And when it's convenient, they love being black, which I get it, because you black. But like, are you a black American, or are you like Jamaican, or are you Caribbean, or what? Because that's what you are. That's what you are proud of. You proud that your family came here from nothing and made it in America, and then you say, well y'all been here for y'all whole lives, and y'all ain't make it, man. Because goddamn it, we ain't never had a dirt floor, nigga. So if I had a dirt floor, I would bust my ass too. But I'm just trying to live my damn life and get this social media career popping off. I ain't got to worry about having a marble floor versus having a dirt floor. That's a different kind of struggle. You hear me? That's a different kind. They try to wheel us into y'all struggle. We ain't struggle. My mama ain't had 2-3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? We ain't come over here on a little boat and with a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of our family members, and we had to curl up in one house and do. I ain't live that struggle, so we don't have the same struggles. And our family didn't fight the same way to make it happen. And then we didn't shit on everybody else after we came up. It is what it is. Black people, white people, American people. We just tapped into why black Americans are going Democrat. And it could go anyway. If you choose to be a Democrat, as long as you're doing it for the reasons that you want to do it for, I don't give a shit, honestly. If we're gonna be Americans together, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk to everybody. We're gonna have to be in our own bubble. But what I will say is, what up, Joker TV? T6 been holding it down for you. We're gonna have to reprimand her for that one. Reprimand her. But we gotta be more diligent on who we support, because as black people, we can't just support anything, and we can't just go for anything. We've been going for whatever it is all the time. Are we taking care of our own Are we letting somebody else take care of us? And are we going to vote our interests? Are we going to lobby to the right people? Can we get a few billionaires to lobby in the name of black men and women that are born in America, descendants of slavery, descendants of slaves? Can we get those people? Because we've been held back for so long, and now we over here confused as why the whites, Democrats, and the white Republicans are fighting for us. Why y'all fighting for us? But every chance y'all get, y'all tear us down. Food stamp queen. Every AI video with a woman who EBT card get declined. Guess what? Guess what race she is? I do got a fans only page, and I gotta tell y'all a story, but I ain't gonna tell y'all today. Y'all gonna be like, damn, PJ. It be like that. We're gonna do politics in another couple days, but we definitely touched on a lot of topics. So I'll be going live in another few days. I overworked myself for the last month and a half, and I had to take a break off on going live. But we back on it. We back on it. I keep saying the black thing. I should be saying as Americans. You're right. As Americans, I say that all the time. But I'm still representing for Black America. I can't represent for white America. Maybe white Americans should, step up for Black America sometime. Don't take Black America for granted. 'Cause we here too. We here too. Blacks, whites, Asians, Mexicans, Spaniards, African. But I can't talk for the Chinese American. I can't talk for the real African American. Because I'm not an African American. I'm a Black American. I'm a black man born in America. The African in me was 4 or 5 generations ahead. After so long, I'm a Black American. So yeah, I'm gonna fight for all Black Americans. Black or white, be the best you can be for all people. Amen. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Be the best you can be, man. Like, be the best you can be. Like I said, if y'all know my story, y'all be like, damn, well, okay, I guess he understand. I didn't switch up to be conservative because, things are great. No, things might be great for me, but I know what I benefited from. So should I take that away from everybody else? Or like you got Black Republicans who benefited from SNAP benefits as a kid. They be like, oh well shit, my mom, she got it out the mud because your mama was a single mother and she had to. What are we talking about? Like, golly, they just act like everybody. Oh, your mama should be everybody. Matter of fact, tell your mama get her ass out there and teach these women a class on how to get it out the mud. But they won't. But what they'll do is they'll keep their mom well kept up in her nice, high rise apartment, and she just coming over for Thanksgiving. She lonely. Then they send her caregiver over there. They don't give a damn that the caregivers, not changing her diaper on time and shit like that. But they sure will boost up. My mama did good. She got us out the ghetto and all this shit. And now we're Black Republicans and we don't give a damn about how my mom struggled on EBT and received like scholarships to go to school or scholarships for the kids to go to schools, and those are all built on the programs built by Democrats right now. Y'all don't know. Y'all just be listening to anything, but whatever. Yeah, Joker. If you would have sold that if you would have gave away that free washer on me, I would have called you the N word too. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just playing.